I have spent weeks trying to figure out how I was going to introduce Speaker Pelosi because it isn't easy to introduce Speaker Pelosi. There's so many things to say about Speaker Pelosi. I think I came up with something pretty good, but it's Speaker Pelosi, and she basically is saving the country from crises every single day, including tonight. And she just a little bit ago called and said, I can't come. Something really urgent came up. She always comes, so it's really urgent. And we always have her back. And so we totally understand because we love her and we're so grateful for her. But I want you to hang with me a little bit because we still want to talk about how awesome Nancy Pelosi is. And we have Tracee Ellis Ross, who's going to join us in talking about how great Nancy Pelosi is. I worked really hard on this intro, so I'm going to give it to you anyways. So here's the thing. The one thing I've always known about Nancy Pelosi is she is someone who likes to look forward and not back. And this is one of the things that has made her such a strong leader in these incredibly challenging times. Oh, someone else might look at all the work we have ahead and get discouraged, but not Speaker Pelosi. I mean, people forget that when she was first elected to Congress, she was 47. Now, being 47 myself, I feel like that's pretty young and I feel great. But of course, there were pundits at the time who thought that though she might have some potential, they also thought it was probably too late for her to work her way up into leadership or accomplish any big things. Ha! Look how wrong they were. And thank goodness they were, because today we have her leading a House with 87 Emily's List women in it. And through this very scary, uncertain time. And they've laid out a vision for the future of this country that's big and bold and optimistic on healthcare and voting rights and gun safety and climate change and choice. They're writing and passing amazing legislation on all of these issues. And then it all goes over to Mitch McConnell's graveyard on the Senate side to never be seen again. And I can't even overstate what a monumental achievement it was to get the CARES Act passed in this climate. And she has clearly laid down the marker for what this country needs in the HEROES Act. And we've got to back her up, but it's up to the Senate to pass it. Now, with the void in leadership at the very top of this country right now, I don't even want to imagine how bad things would be without Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it's like I can't. It's super scary. So we have to elect the 4 Emily's List women who are going to flip the Senate majority and then wisely follow her lead. And Speaker Pelosi, I hope you hear me, and I'm going to say it to you soon in person. We plan to not only hold your majority, but make it stronger because you deserve even more reinforcements. We are just so honored that she's been doing so much great work. We're just huge, gigantic fans. And now I'm also thrilled, so excited to introduce the brilliant, talented, extraordinary woman who is joining us. She was initially going to do this conversation with the speaker. Now she's just going to keynote the evening. So no pressure, Tracee, none at all. For all of you listening, you likely know Tracee Ellis Ross for playing Joan Clayton on 8 seasons of the hit series Girlfriends. I sure hope you did because or for her Golden Globe winning portrayal of Bo Johnson on the ABC comedy Blackish. She's an award-winning actress, producer, and director who currently features in the Focus Features film The High Note, which I personally highly recommend. It was so good, Tracee. It was so good. And I just watched, I was like, I've been wanting to see it. And I'm like, I am going to watch this movie. It was so good. And she serves as the CEO and founder of Pattern. This is super cool. I didn't know this about you. I love this. A hair care brand that she created for the curly, coily, and tight textured masses. Love it. Tracee uses her voice and social influence to advocate for a joyful culture of acceptance. And we talk a lot about joy at Emily's List, also about inclusivity and the equity across all industries, all industries. So we are so excited she could join us. And Tracee, I'm so glad you're here. And Stan, the entire Emily's List staff is totally fangirling, and I'm leading the way. So thank you for
I'm
being
so
here.
happy to be here. This is definitely a pivot. I got the call like 15 minutes ago. I was like,
That's literally a 15-minute ago pivot. I'm like, boom, boom. And here you are. Amazing.
here
You're
I am.
awesome. Thank you for
I'm
doing
here.
this.
I thank you so much for that beautiful introduction and also for having me today. I will say that I was very excited. I was excited to speak to the most powerful woman in American politics. But as you know, when you are the third highest ranking elected official in this country, with all of those things you just listed, sometimes there's schedule changes, and
A little bit.
we honor them. We honor them because she is doing the good work. She is staying focused on what we need her hands involved in. So I'm so grateful that there was a chance I could be having this conversation with her. And
We will make it another time, but we're
yeah,
so glad you're here. But you're right. She is the third most powerful person in the country. What are you going to do?
what are you
What
going
are
to
you
do?
going to do?
She's got things to do, and this was not the moment, so that's fine.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
For
for
being here.
having me. This is always, you guys do such wonderful work, and listening to what I have been able to listen to when I wasn't trying to pivot and like make some words to say. And I'm going to take the crown off that you just gave me. You saying that I was now going to take the keynote spot. I'm not doing it. The expectations will be lowered. We will not have that. I was going to present a stage and questions that would allow Speaker of the House to do what she does best. But I will say a couple of things, and then we will bow out, and you can have the rest of the platform. But I thank you for having me today and for all of the work that you guys do. And I think this is a big anniversary, so congrats on that. So I will say that these are just a couple of words that I wanted to share, which is that, as we all know, we're in a delicate and transformative moment as we reconcile the inequity that is built into the fabric of this country, and as we persist towards the promise of our democracy. And in order to ensure that this is not just a wave, but a sea change, in the words of Emily's List, that this is a movement and not a moment, and that we must make lasting policy changes. We must make lasting policy changes, as we know, in the areas of healthcare and reproductive rights, voter suppression, police reform. And in order to change the laws, we must change the lawmakers. And Madam Speaker has said that nothing is more wholesome for the political process than greater participation from women. That when women win, America wins. Or, as I like to say, when she wins, we win. The 116th Congress is the most diverse in history, yet we as a country have an enormous amount of work ahead of us in making our government more reflective of the people it serves. We saw BIPOC women win elections in multiple states. A number of women like Candace Valenzuela, Lucy McBath, Jackie Gordon are on the ballot in November. So as we look ahead to the next 35 years or so of democratic women's leadership, and as we sit on the precipice of building upon historic gains, the historic gains of 2018, we must have more women at the table, and we women become exponentially more powerful if we are a group of diverse women. Because issues that affect women, and especially BIPOC women, should not only be considered, but prioritized. BIPOC women have always been at the center of economic, social, and cultural change in this country. Our leadership is often utilized without being centered. And when we stand together to work towards achieving equity and power in this country, when we support other BIPOC women who are working to create progressive change in this country, we all win. Everyone wins. So the one thing that I wanted to sort of a call to action to everybody that's listening, I wish I could see everybody's faces. But if you imagine that your liberation is bound to the most frightened and disenfranchised woman in this country, and if you are only as strong as the most vulnerable woman in this country, And if the gravest error of privilege is for it to go unused, then what is the thing that each of you are intent on using your power and privilege to change? And what can each of us use our radical imagination to re envision? And so I just leave you with those questions because I think we often forget. But if we are only as strong as our most vulnerable neighbor, how can we use our strength, our power, our privilege to make sure that we are living in a reimagined world and that the lawmakers actually reflect our community, and that we can have a just and equal society? And I think women are always at the center of that. We know Nancy Pelosi is. And I wish that she had been here, but she's doing important work. And I'm so grateful that you all had me. And I wish you a good day. It's still it's evening there. Where most of you guys are. Where are you?
Hello, Tracee. Thank you so much. I'm in Maine. I think you're in California. So we are having a sea to shining sea moment right here together. We cannot thank you enough for sticking with us, for pivoting and offering remarks that were certainly worthy of keynote status. Your story and the stories that you tell through your work every day are the stories that inspire women like me, the women who work at Emily's List, and women not just across the country, but around the world to think bigger, to use those radical imaginations to the fullest, to imagine something better for women today, tomorrow, and every day in the future. You are, I got to tell you, Tracee, you're stuck with Emily's List now. You're on the list, okay, is all I have to say. And we're so excited you could join us this evening. And I just want to thank you again for helping us end today on a high note. How's that?
Oh, that was very well done. That was impressive.
Thank you. I do my best. I'll be here all night, literally. So thank you, Tracee.